Greetings, Dungeon Delvers, and welcome to yet another exciting chapter of A Tale of D20's Descent into the Void, where 7 friends journey together to tell the story of mythic proportion. Gather round, gather round. Let me tell you a tale of life and death, of joy and sorrow, a tale of D20s. Last time, Liberators, you scheduled your Seeker's advancement test with Lancel for the morning after, then making your way into town to do some shopping. Following Monaco, you first entered Phineas's Frozen Fractals. There you met Phineas, an old dwarven man with a wizard's cloak, who was talking with Cal, the tiefling gunslinger. Discovering that Cal is a gold seeker, you quickly hit it off, deciding to join together as your goals aligned. You also convinced Phineas that you would broker a deal between him and the Seekers Guild in exchange for sponsorship. In this, he would upgrade your magical telepathic jewelry and assist in other means in the future. After leaving the mage's shop, you made your way over to the local blacksmith to see what could be done with the mysterious ore you found in the dungeon's level prior. Interested, the blacksmith agreed to build weapons out of it, made your way back to the Shivering Timbers to rest Cal and Syl, going to Eric's and Dylon to receive the artifact quest to the west. Nighttime came upon you, and Syl went off to speak with Siphon, a shady tiefling who gave him a quest to break into the Forbidden Neverlight and retrieve a magical book. Duran snuck off with Galdrim and met up with 4 dwarves who revealed themselves to be Doramo and the Valkyrie Warband. Doramo claimed he had the power to erase humanity from the multiplane using a mystical shard with the power to bend reality. He tried to influence Duran with magic, who was able to stave off the advances. This angered Doramo, who seemed to be trying to attack when Galdrim stepped in and cast out Duran from the ethereal room that they were in. Rushing back to his allies, Duran gathered the Liberators and returned to Galdrim, only to see him dying on the ground, cursed with dark powers. Horatio and Cal healed him, using a combination of divine magic and the Felix Felicis. Duran also revealed that he had killed his brother in self-defense, much to Galdrim's shock. Woken from the mental haze, Galdrim thanked you all, apologizing for his actions. Leaving to complete his own missions, he left you all in Frostmoor. You decided to discuss back at the Seekers Guild what happened. So, Liberators, making the trek back to the guild, left in shock and confusion, what do you do?
Duran, what happened? You have to tell us all the details so we know. How did your warband trick you and hurt Galdrim?
They are under the control of Doramu's magic. Somehow he has turned their feelings against them, made them pawns in his scheme to destroy humanity.
Mind magic? That goes beyond my capabilities. Horatio, have you heard of such magics and items?
Yeah, there's such a thing as enchantment magic that allows you to take control of people's.
We must potentially protect ourselves against this then.
Been working on it. Really, it's sometimes you just gotta have a strong will.
But my people, we are naturally inclined against this type of trickery and mind magic. Or at least that's what Galdrim had told me once in the past. So his powers must be quite strong to have thrall over my entire warband.
What else can you tell? What happened?
Duran kind of looks down and with shame. I do not know. Galdrim told me to leave. I left to get... He looks at the ground. No, he's okay.
Galdrim will be fine. I need to do more research on this Felix Felicis because he had that curse inside of him. And I mean, Cal was able to help with it, but it just seemed like no restorative magic would help him.
I tried, yes. It was blocked at first. It reminds me of the curses. That was very quick thinking, Horatio. I didn't even remember of the Felix Felicis.
I'll do some research tomorrow on this Felix Felicis and see what I can find.
Wizard Horatio and everyone else, I must tell you, I was also warned that Doramu was able to use the shard's power itself, that he was able to tap into it and use it for his own means.
He was able to use the shard individually?
Duran nods.
I thought that there were only pieces of a whole that could be used.
Maybe that's what he's tapping into to get into that type of magic.
Oh, that's troubling. Have you encountered such before, Cal?
No, this is all pretty new to me. From what you're describing, though, it sounds extremely dangerous.
Could you tell me more about the shard?
Well, the one who's been getting visions of it has been Syl.
Doran, what did your warband, did they have updated clothing? Like any identifying marks? I know we ran into them before and I have a slight image in my mind, but I'm just trying to see if we notice them in our travels that we can be sure of who they are.
King, it will not be that easy. They were disguised using some sort of magic to appear as dwarves.
As dwarves?
So they were walking around in the city?
Galdrum said they were here for quite some time.
Wait a minute. Hold on, and I'm going to pull out one of my books and go through notes that I wrote. I'm going to say, I think that we heard of dwarves before. When we were in Small Point, we heard the people there told us dwarves were fucking around in their crystals. Remember when the symphony turned backwards?
Does Horatio remember? Because Lewis doesn't.
Yeah, you all remember back when you were in Small Point and you asked the leader of the town what had happened. He said that before everything went down with the tainting of the crystal, that 4 doors had walked in there and seemed to have been very curious around it. One in particular.
Huh.
Do you remember now?
Yeah, I kind of do remember some dwarves dealing with it. Could it have been them? And it makes sense.
You're saying that these elves, they did something? They were the ones who did that to the symphony? They turned it backwards? They were the ones that let all those demons in?
It's too soon to tell, but I would think it's Doramo and not... I mean, it's obvious that they're under some sort of mind control.
Right, of course. Just looking up at Duran and then looking down.
Doramo is definitely up to some sinister plans.
I think so. It just sort of clicked. I remembered, once you said 4 dwarves, I remembered that there were the dwarves in Small Point, and it didn't feel like a coincidence. I hope that this Doramo is not causing more harm than we think, but if he is tainting the crystals of the land, he is doing far worse than we understood.
I feel we need to warn the Daimyo and let them know to be very cautious with the crystal.
We did tell them when we first came that they knew how to turn the symphony backwards.
Still, he should know that it was not some demon that did it, but rather someone who infiltrated the city.
What if he taught the demons how to do it and now they're going to proliferate that knowledge? King shudders at the thought.
I mean, right now it's all hypotheticals, but at least we have a general idea now.
I mean, I could pen a letter and we could potentially send it off to...
We can rest and go tomorrow after our tests here.
I still think that the Daimyo is a busy man. We cannot just walk in and expect audience at a moment's notice. We should send word.
Sure.
Minako, you're much more versed in the politics of this land. Am I overthinking it? Or should we just...
You are right. We should send warning ahead of time, if only because we'll be going in the morning. I could go and secure an audience with us now, but...
No, I think you should stay and rest with us. Could you write this letter in Infernal? I believe that it would be safest if it was in your native language and not Common or Elven, in case it gets intercepted.
It would be best if I wrote it anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate helping.
I think we should rest.
Not to stop everybody before we're leaving here, but did get a job prospect if anybody's interested.
Are you going now?
No.
What's the job?
Still's gonna lean in and talk a little bit lower. There's a castle to the north that's been abandoned called Neverlight. It was run by some rather strong needs. May or may not be forbidden by the queen. Our employer wants us to grab a very mystical book from there. Bring back to her.
Mystical book?
Hold on. I'm a little bit more caught off on what you said a moment ago. Forbidden by whom?
The queen.
Like the queen of these lands?
We really shouldn't go against the queen's wishes, I think.
Why does she not want people to go there?
I thought it's just because it was dangerous and they couldn't handle it themselves.
Well, if it'll do more good than harm.
Are we going to Fia?
Monaco, and Cal, some knowledge that you would have. So you know Neverlight as being kind of the forbidden area. It's said to be cursed, dark magic, all the bad juju comes from there. It's kind of like a story that little tieflings are told at night. Never go to Neverlight because they'll never wake up. Things like that. People who go there go up missing. And because of this, even some demon dancers have gone in and not returned. So they've just closed it off and said no one shall enter.
You really shouldn't go there.
It's really bad news. Not even the demon dancers don't even mess around in that area too much.
When I was a kid, my mother used to tell me stories about Neverlight, and I would have nightmares.
Also, we have legitimate job prospects and more important things in the time being.
That is true. We do have other work to do, but I am curious about this Neverlight. I mean, could it also hold the portal to another floor?
Are you just willing to break the laws of this land because of your curiosity?
I'm not saying let's break the laws. I'm just saying maybe we can gain permission to go check that out. I mean, if we say that we're going to find their demon dancers and bring them back, I'm pretty sure they'd be willing.
Maybe I misunderstood. People are just warned not to go there, or is it forbidden?
Both.
Correct, both.
I am trying to become a better person and a legitimate leader to my people, and I cannot. Never mind. I'll just trail off and look at my book.
I wouldn't suggest us going against the Queen's wishes, but I am curious, so we can maybe attempt to gain permission.
If access is granted, I will not stand in the group's way.
Besides, what if we know not to go straight into a demon's den, right?
Yeah, there's also that, but we should be cautious, not try to upset people that have been so gracious to us. We should rest, though, for now, and pick it up in the morning. And then Horatio will look at Duran and says, Duran, the big test tomorrow. Are you ready?
Duran seems a little distracted, almost as if something really crazy emotionally happened to him within the past 24 hours. But he looks at you and he gives a determined nod.
Syl, whereabouts did you get this work from?
I shouldn't say her name. She's said not to.
I don't know. It has been forbidden, and there's definitely a reason for that. If you're from all the stories I've ever heard about it, the people that do end up over there never come back, and this just might be a fool's errand. I don't want someone to abuse you and think you're expendable.
What if it's forbidden? He's trying to hide something.
That's possible.
You've never even met the lady of this land. How could you even go along with such nonsense?
You should know I don't have a like for nobles, so what's wrong with me being skeptical about people?
Regardless of all of that, we don't know. It's all a possibility. Is it probable? Probably not, but
I don't see the Queen doing something like this for no reason. I mean, these lands are full of demons and...
You've seen what it's like out there.
Yes. Chaotic horror could be at the very mouth of Neverlight.
Well, then what if it stops the chaotic horror?
I don't think it'd be as simple as that, but probably source of it. Yeah, for sure.
Why not take this information to the Queen herself, and if there's truly something worth investigating, we could get official word, like a written word.
I absolutely agree with you, Cal. That's what I think we should do, and that way we get to knock out two birds with one stone.
It would be the law-abiding thing to do.
So with this information, are we still going to go do the caravan, watch the quests? Not that we can rush, we could take the long way to Fia.
Maybe we can even, besides the information that we all know about, well, Minako and I know about Neverlight, maybe there'll be someone along the caravan that has traveled closer towards that land and maybe knows something. Maybe we can gather a little bit more information, and in the process, this expedition party can gain a little bit more clout in the region, and then the Queen may have to listen to us if we have questions about it. We really should get some rest. It's pretty late.
Yeah,
after we all kick some ass tomorrow with our tests, maybe then we can get on the road to Arrowwatch and discuss Neverlight some more.
Yeah, sure.
Horatio, may I borrow Hootie to deliver this letter?
Horatio snaps his fingers and brings Hootie up. And he's like, absolutely.
She will leave to go pen the letter with Hootie and let everyone else get to sleep.
I telepathically let Hootie know to deliver the letter that she asks him to deliver.
All right. So Hootie appears. The familiar flies over towards Monako, but after receiving your information, landing on her shoulder. As you, Monako, you step out. Are you going to do it in this room, or are you just like trying to find another room to?
I mean, if there's space in this room, she'll just do it here. She's just trying to find a table.
Yeah, there's a table that you can easily find over at.
Yeah, she'll.
Are we in like the Silver Seeker's common room?
Yes.
Okay, so then I'll just make my way to like a bunk.
There's no other seekers here either. Either they're staying somewhere else, or there's no silver seekers, or they're staying in other amenities. But you are all alone within this large circular common room.
What time is it?
It's about 3 a.m. It's getting pretty late.
Yeah, so Horatio would just say, all right, guys, I'm going to try to get some sleep, and we'll be here, meet up back in the morning, I guess.
All right. And the rest of you, are you all going to sleep?
Bunking up.
Yep. I'll slum it in silver for one night.
Same.
All right, I'm going to remember that.
That was Travis, not King.
I know. I know.
Was it though? But you all rest, close your eyes. Monako, you begin to write the letter, and you complete the letter with everything, all the information you want to place into there, rolling it up and giving it to Hootie. He flies off, seemingly to deliver it to the daimyo. The rest of you close your eyes, bundle up, and begin to sleep. The night passes, no issues, no dreams or anything that comes to all of you. The only person who has a slight of a rough night is Syl. During your rest, whereas the headaches had stopped sleeping, they seem to come back. You're able to stay asleep, but restlessly as you toss and turn, which is images of that room that you met the daimyo in, that a platform, that a weapon, that strange weapon that he bowed to just flashes into your mind as the doors open and close, leading you back outside of the great temple of Nyx. You awaken first before everybody else, still receiving your long rest, but it's still quite early in the morning.
Monako noticed that he was tossing and turning and went to go stay by his side, so that when he woke up, she's sitting there reading a book, having mop some sweat off his forehead. Are you okay? We're tossing and turning all night.
Feels a little weirded out. Yeah, he's gonna prop himself up and drop down from, I guess he probably took a top bunk. He had to drop down from one of the top bunks wherever he's at. Is there like a sink in there, anything to wash up?
You can, not in this common room, but when you were walking up here, you did see that there was a restroom area that you can easily go to, like open the door, make a left, and it's kind of right there.
Clean myself up.
Horatio comes, gathers all his stuff, and tries to maybe find himself something light to eat, ways to pass this test.
So you all kind of waking up. Syl has already left, and at that point, you all kind of wake up from the noise and the rustling. Horatio, you get up. Are you heading towards the mess hall? That's the only place you know where there would be.
Yeah, I would.
And the rest of you, what are you doing?
I actually catch Horatio and I'm like, oh, the mess hall's over this way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Would you care to go grab a bite? I'm thinking of getting something light to eat today.
That's well advised. I'm going to wait myself. I'm not going to eat anything, but I'll show you where it's at. Maybe I'll get a drink, calm my nerves a little.
You nervous?
Not nervous, just weighing outcomes in my head, trying to figure out what could possibly be thrown at me, and I don't know. Every test is different.
That is true. You seem to have a form of incredible power.
I wouldn't say it's an incredible power. It's a borrowed drive, I guess you could say.
Well, you are indeed in tune with the gods. Very close. I don't doubt you'll be fine.
And from what I've gathered over the past, 12 hours or so, I think all of you will be successful today.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
It's all about how you wear it.
Horatius kind of like just thinking about that last sentence there, like, okay.
Do you mean in like a contemplative way, or do you
Like,
mean...
just like he's like not confused by it, but like just wondering how that relates to confidence.
Understood.
Don't hold up. I'll come with. And she'll get up to join you guys to the common or to the mess hall.
Good morning, Monako. How'd you sleep?
I did not, but thank you for your concern.
You did not sleep?
It just wasn't a good night for me. So, just still always tossed like that.
I mean, he's been having some visions ever since he touched. So I want to say since then, yeah.
Oh, how troubling. She kind of looks down. Let's eat.
For sure, yeah. Where are the rest of the guys?
So, King,
I woke up and then I went and took a quick shower just to rinse myself off. You see King running down the stairs, meeting up with the group. I'm here too. He has like still a little wet water in his hair, and he says, "Do they have porridge? I want some porridge and berries today."
I don't know what they have yet, but have you seen Duran? I actually would like to talk strategies with him. I think he and I are going to be taking our test together.
I didn't actually. I took a shower first before I came down, and then you see King like prestidigitate his hair, and like these like flower petals and like a perfumey smell sort of like wafts around and then slowly dissipates, and his hair sort of falls in place.
Do we set times, by the way? What time are we supposed to be doing this?
No, you just have to report when you're ready to go down there.
All right, so he'll probably, soak for 15, 20 minutes, and then when he's ready to go, he'll get dressed and whatnot, and he'll go eat, meet everybody else, if they're still there.
So, Duran, you wake up as well, ending your trance, noticing everyone's meeting up outside the room, and continue to head off with them as well as you see that they're heading towards the mess hall.
Oh, hey, Duran. So we might be taking our test together.
That is right, Wizard Horatio. What is our strategy for success today?
Well, I was thinking, I got this pretty neat ability to make someone completely invisible while still being able to act. So I was wondering, would it be better to make you invisible or myself? I can only do it to one person.
Duran scratches his chin. It would make more sense, Wizard Horatio, to make yourself invisible. If they strike you, won't you lose your magic spell? I've been watching during our battles.
I would have a chance. It's a possibility they may knock me off of my concentration, but if I can maintain it, I should be fine. However, if I become invisible and you become their main target, and we don't know what they're going to throw at us, really. It's not like we have King there to keep you up.
Wizard Horatio, I have the Ring of Spell Storing. Is there any way we can both be invisible?
There's a possibility. You would have to expend whatever's in the ring already, because I believe King may have put stuff, and I can definitely put an invisibility spell in there.
What spells are in the ring right now?
I think it's
Spiritual Guardians and Guardians of Faith. No.
Spiritual Weapon. And
Spiritual Weapon, yeah. Spiritual Guardian, Spiritual Weapon. It's a level 2 and level 3 spell.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought the thing holds 3 spells.
It holds 5 levels of spells.
5 levels worth of spells.
5 levels worth of spells, I see.
So right now the ring is occupied. In order for me to be able to put the invisibility spell in there, it would require that it was empty, not used. The potency of the spell that I have cannot go with what's in there already.
So you're saying it's too full of magic. Very well. How do we get the magic out?
I mean, I guess you just point the ring at where you wanted to shoot the magic. I'm not sure of that ring.
Wizard Horatio, I can feel 2 spells in here. Which one should I use?
I'll tell him which is which, because I'm there when I put in the ring. I was like, you've seen me summon the corporeal form of Chasufold. That is the first one, and if you summon it, it is called a spiritual weapon. That is how you pull it forth. Or I was like, you've also seen when I've had guardians of Myliki surround me. Those were the ethereal unicorns. You can think of what you wish in your mind, and that is how you could call it forth. I try and just like sort of say it like that.
How much spell space do we need for you to make me invisible?
I would need at least 4 levels worth of spell space.
So you gotta dump it.
Yeah, you gotta dump both of them.
I see. Then perhaps I hold on to these for now and maybe use them during the coming test. In a way, it'll be like the three of us are in the test at once.
Oh, King and Travis both actually think that's cute.
Yeah, you could use it during the test. It would just mean that not both of us are invisible.
Besides, I think it is fine if they see me. I want to show them what I've got so they can give me my next Seeker badge.
Also, Horatio, I understand the need for invisibility. It is quite handy, but I think you might be relying on it too heavily. What if they use some true sight magics or have enhanced senses?
I have thought of all possible outcomes. I'm not relying on it. I'm just hoping it keeps me out of the way, out of being a target.
Yeah, of course, I should have assumed you would have thought of multiple scenarios. I'm glad to hear that. I think you will pass this test in no time.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
Absolutely. Everyone is going to pass.
All right. Well, I think we should probably go speak to Lancel.
I'm going to finish eating the porridge and berries that I found.
Horatio just has like an apple or a banana or something. Like he's just eating something light.
Okay, as you guys had entered the mess hall, still, after you take your bath, were you heading there as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so you all meet up within the mess hall, the familiar walls of the industrial cafeteria. Like it's around, let's say 9 a.m. at this point. It's pretty full, but everyone's quiet. As you guys all eating at your table and talking, you see people glaring at you, but no one's actually saying anything. But you finish up your meals after discussing, and as you guys get up to walk towards Lancel, it's kind of like pin drop almost. Like whereas you're used to coming in here, it's a commotion, it's a cafeteria. Now it's silent, glaring eyes looking over at you all.
Wasn't there one that was like getting testy trying to fight Duran at one point?
Well, you ran to Darius, who was not tested. He was just a...
Is he here?
Roll me a perception check. As you scan the room, you see several people. A lot of people you recognize from you were using your key mind, but pinpointing Darius, you don't seem to find him. He's not within...
What about Lancel?
Lancel is probably at his desk, as you know, but he's not in the mess hall.
I would say, so are we ready to go speak to Lancel, or?
Yeah, and Dungeon Master, do I see anything when I come in the room and scan it for threats?
So when you entered the cafeteria, or?
Yes.
Where you look around, there's no threats, just people staring at you, but nothing that seems to be threatening, unless you consider people kind of glaring at you threatening. So what are you guys going to do? You have finished your meals?
I think we're going to go talk to Lancel, right?
Does my passive insight of 4 clue me into any of these glares? Do I get like a feeling?
Your passive insight is 4?
14, sorry. I have +4. It's 14.
Oh, I was like, how's that even possible? You can tell at least that they're, like when you first entered, there was definitely some noise as you were walking down the hall, but then as you enter the hall, it got very quiet. So just with your basic insight, you could tell people are looking at you. You don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with what happened the days prior, but all eyes are on you.
Let's just get our food, sit down, and go. This place doesn't feel friendly.
Can I walk over after I finish eating, but before we leave, to one of the groups of people that were glaring and see what do they do as I walk towards them? Do they look away? Do they keep looking?
So as you walk towards them, they look away and they start just like eating their food and stuffing themselves, trying to be as nonchalant as possible.
I'm going to sort of like walk near the table and I'm going to say, oh, so what's the news? I heard you can see you guys staring at us. So what's word on the street?
One of the tieflings, gentlemen, he finished eating his meal and takes a big swallow. I'm sorry we weren't staring. Just you guys are new and we were just curious to know all about you. No, nothing.
Oh, well, we're seekers too. We're all seekers here, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
No need to be shy.
No, of course not.
More the merrier. What's your name, friend?
Thomas. My name is Thomas.
Oh, my name's King. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, King.
Friends call me King. Sort of a nickname.
Oh, right. So what should I call you?
King. We're friends, right?
Well, yeah, sure. But oh my goodness, I have a quest, guys. We have a quest to go, and they're like, yeah, and they all get up and start walking away.
Oh, good luck. I'm going to insight them. I believe they're lying. I'm going to active insight.
Well, an insight check.
He's not lying.
It was a little awkward, but you think it was a little awkward, but
awkward but believable.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, friends. Good luck. I'm going to walk back to the group, and I'll say, they're friendly enough. They're just shy. We're all seekers here, right? And I like sort of say to our group, but loud enough for everyone to hear, everyone around to hear.
We're fresh blood.
Okay.
Nanako looks super embarrassed. She looks down and says, please.
I think we should go talk to Lancel, get our new tags, and then maybe things will change around here a bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'll wait for the group to get ready or to finish, and then we can go.
Okay. So as you guys finish your meals, walking outside of the mess hall, feeling the stairs on your backs almost as you walk away, you exit, walking down the long corridor until you get towards the front. Making that left turn, you notice sitting at the end of the hall at his desk with his feet up, humming a tune, is Lancel, who hasn't quite noticed you yet.
Someone's going to open his wings and create a little bit of wind just to try to get his attention.
Okay. You kind of spread out your wings and cause a gust of air. Lancel goes, hello there. I didn't notice you had entered. Are you ready to take your test, Liberators? I'm quite curious to see how well you do. Oh, by the way, I have a little announcement to let you know about. I hope you don't mind. Follow me, and I'll explain on the way. He begins walking down one of the side corridors you guys haven't been, that you actually have been down to before. It's the same way you took when Monako took her entrance exam.
I'm gonna touch my circlet and in a hushed voice whisper in a small prayer in Sylvan and activate my mage armor for the day.
All right.
Horatio will just touch his chest and cast mage armor on himself as well.
Describe your mage armors as it's a physical thing that'll happen. Starting with King, how does King's mage armor look?
So King has a circlet on his head that has been enchanted with the mage armor spell that he's commissioned a while back. And it is a silver circlet that has like a floral pattern. And as he touches it, a actual crown of flowers grows on his head. And these flowers, sort of a few petals fall down and create this like light ethereal pink, like a shield sort of around him. And then it slowly gets closer and like sort of lands on his skin, and it has this soft glow. And he sort of has this magical skin around him now, and this crown of flowers on his head.
Horatio has this, he reaches into his components pouch and pulls out this small piece of cured leather. It fits in the palm of his hand. It's tiny. And he mutters some arcane words as he moves his hand over this piece of leather. And suddenly his arcane ward kind of pops out. And one of the little pieces, like it gains this like aura around it, that it's the familiar little hex like ball of shield. And one little piece flies off of it, and it floats towards Horatio's chest, and it just creates this like shimmering armor around him and then dissipates.
All right. As you equipped your now new magical armor, you continue walking down together the corridor before going towards that same large door that you saw before. But Lancel does not open it. Instead, he turns around and looks at you. He goes, so before I begin, I have a little something to tell you. I hope you don't mind, but a lot of the seekers are quite curious to see how you all do, and I couldn't say no to my group, so... And as he opens up the door, you are led into the similar room before, but it looks more ornate and opulent this time. It's a long corridor, and then as you look up, there's tiers of kind of rafters that you see several seekers members are at, and they're all kind of looking down, and you hear like a murmur and talking, because it's an audience as they're all looking at you. You all enter and walk forward you're all inside, and Lancel turns and says, after they find out that you're a Cain, they all were curious to see how the son of a Cain and his companions do, so, I couldn't say no, and here they are. Hope you don't mind.
If you're taking bets off of us, I want to cut. We all want to cut.
There's no official betting, but I can't stop what the people do in the rafters.
King eyes him, glance a little deeper. Is that true?
Roll an insight check.
With this 2 again? Okay, this color's changing.
Lancel goes, of course it's true.
Okay, I believe you, Lancel. Doo-doo-doo.
Okay, so you've invited an audience. Why?
Like I said, hearing your name made quite the impression on the rest of the Seekers. So, everyone wanted to see how well you do. Oh, and one more thing. And as he kind of looks up and he points towards one of the back balconies that's high up, he points towards up and you see kind of floating forward a familiar gray elderly tiefling garmented in this cloth, warrior-like cloth armor with two swords at his side. And you recognize immediately as Kaijin, the daimyo, with his arms crossed. He goes, the daimyo got here this morning, said something about a letter that was sent to him. I let him know about you guys, and when I said the son of Susan Kane was here, he was quite curious to witness this himself. I don't think you realize your name carries a lot of weight around here, especially in the demon dancers. Well, anyway, good luck. Let me know when you're ready. And he steps kind of towards the back, leaving you all in a group. Or he steps towards the middle of the long hallway.
I say to the others, so do you two want to go first? Looking towards Duran and Horatio.
I think it'd be best to get it out of the way.
Duran nods to Horatio. Let's give them a show. And he ignites Firethorn.
Indeed, friend. Let's go.
All right. So, Duran, you ignite Firethorn and it lights up, and some people are like, ooh, as they see it ignite, and as you walk forward to both of you. So, the Silver Seekers will go first. All right. So this will be a simple test of your martial prowess and your magical capabilities. Let's see how powerful you guys are. In a bout with me, I won't attack back until otherwise noted. So let loose, and I'll give you the grade accordingly. So, without further ado, Horatio, Duran, are you ready?
Yes.
I see. And when can we attack?
Well, as soon as I say go, not right now, you can attack whenever you're ready.
I almost wanted to fucking leap at him right when he said go right then.
But, so are your preparations complete?
Horatio looks over at Duran. I'm ready.
Then let us begin.
All right. He says, everyone, we are now going to start the promotion ceremony for Horatio, Kane, and Duran, the Gale. They will be moving from silver to gold seekers if they pass. Now, without further ado, in 3, 2, 1, begin. And as he says that, he kind of steps back a little bit, get himself in the fighting stance.
I'm going to try to pop him before he has a chance to even settle into his fighting stance. Duran has seen how strong Lancel is during the fight with Monaco, and he knows that he's not someone to take lightly.
Horatio will commence casting a Witch Bolt, first level.
All right. So, with both of you attacking together, you can roll at advantage. 22. Okay. And Duran, all right. Roll damage. Okay. So, as you begin to attack, the witch bolt swirls around your hand. For a second, a cloud appears, kind of blocking Duran's approach. Lancel looks around and goes, interesting. And as you pop out of the cloud, Duran, you slash in with your flame Firethorn while the witch bolt strikes him at the same time. Lancel takes both hits and is pushed back slightly. And he kind of like shakes his body himself and is like, oh, nice hit. Well done. All right, then. Show me what else you've got. And he goes into another stance. Go ahead and make a second type of attack. You can do the same thing if you want, or you can do something else.
Okay, and should I attack twice because I attacked twice, or do I just...
Yeah, you can attack again because you attacked twice, certainly. The second attack won't be at the advantage. So 17, your second attack seems that Lancel's ready. And as you swing on it, he kind of takes his hand and kind of bats it away. You notice these are movements that normally a bard wouldn't be able to do, but he easily is able to slide it down, parrying it. He goes, you gotta do better than that. Points off, Duran.
Horatio just continues, like the witch bolt is still on him, so he'll keep hitting him with the witch bolt.
All right. So you each attack with another witch bolt. And it's still, he's holding it up, his arm up as the lightning is striking him, and he's like, now that's the son of Cain. You do your mother quite proud. So you take after her. Interesting. And he continues to deflect it. Duran, that was your next attack. All right, so at this point, he kind of turns around and goes, well done. Let's see how well you could take my strikes. And he begins to go after you. So he's going to first make an attack against Duran. Okay, so that is a 15 versus your AC, Duran.
No dice.
All right, so as he kind of pulls out a dagger, he slashes upwards towards you, and then like you back up, dodging it before it just missing it. It's a good miss. You were able to jump back a good deal. He's like, fast on your feet, are you? And he goes, kind of takes the momentum of his hand coming up and starts to slam down and makes another attack against you, Duran. Oof. 12 versus your AC. As he goes for another strike, you jump back again, dodging it, stepping back and forth like the wind. And he's like, I actually tried on that one. Interesting. Next up, and he swings around and goes to make an attack against Horatio. All right, so 22 versus your AC.
22 will hit.
That hit he does 16 points of slashing damage.
So as the hit lands, he notices kind of the arcane ward, like immediately right before it hits me, it gets in the way and absorbs all of that damage.
As he goes and slashes in there, you all see a kind of a spark almost. His weapon doesn't quite hit Horatio, and it kind of lights up, and it kind of reverberates before it thrusts his arm back. And he's like, abjuration wizard? Interesting. I'm quite impressed with your defenses, but in battle you can't just defend. And he goes again with his last attack against you, and that is an 18 versus your AC.
Okay, I will use my reaction to cast shield.
All right. Once again, as he goes for the slash, your shield kind of shifts up, knocking the weapon back. And he's like, he looks at you and he goes, well, maybe you can. You're a crafty one, aren't you? All right then, one last time. Show me what you've got and hit me hard. Your promotion's on the line. All right, make your last attacks against him. If you're attacking together, both of you have advantage. If you're separating, then no.
Horatio would kind of...
But are you attacking together?
Well, I'm not doing an attack, but I'm hoping that my attack can give him advantage. Horatio would kind of run towards the side of Lancel so that Duran is to like his left, so to speak, but he's like a good 5 or 10 feet back from them. And he says, Duran, wait for your opening. And Horatio will begin to cast lightning bolt in the direction where Lancel is. And he has to make a Dex DC 17 save.
Okay, so that is a 17. So he just meets it. He just saves.
He just jumps out of the way, but I assume that Duran is right in front of him, so he's not paying attention to Duran, hoping to give Duran advantage.
All right.
And he takes half of that damage.
All right, 10 points of lightning damage. As you kind of go and strike with your lightning bolt, shooting it at him, Lancel does a backflip to get out the way. Keep taking his eyes off Duran. Duran, you have an attack at advantage. As the lightning kind of strikes up and hits his leg, he's like, ah!
Awesome. As the bolt flies, Duran is going to try to run and try to move as close to the ground as he can so that the moment that the bolt kind of strikes, he moves under the bolt and then comes up right after the bolt is finished with the upward swing with Firethorn.
Okay, that definitely hits.
And I roll one more just to see if it crit. Better roll.
All right. Roll damage for your first attack.
Plus sneak attack.
All right. Coming down with your first attack, he doesn't notice it, and he looks back. He's like, huh? And then you were able to hit him in the side, slashing his armor that he has on. Continue with your strikes.
Duran takes the momentum of the swing across the midsection and kind of spins like a top with the blade, with his feet about an inch off the ground.
All right. 19. As you go to strike him, he kind of lifts up a blade and at the same time to attempt to parry while he's flipping in air, but it just slips past his blade, slashing him once again. Roll damage. All right, another 12 points of damage. This time the damage slamming him down. He's able to catch himself on the ground, but if you're making another attack, you have the opportunity as he's looking down. He looks up, seeing your blade coming again at him. Roll your third attack.
Yeah, Duran will use his bonus action third attack.
All right. This time, as you slash down, he notices it. Taking his weapon, he parries it up, the blade, holding against you before sliding it down towards the side, pushing you towards his back before turning around and facing your eyes once again.
Duran blows his action surge to swing down 2 more times.
Okay. He blocks this one again. Right now, you're in a flurry of attack. He goes, temper, Duran. No need to be upset. And he begins to, as you kind of slash at him, he's blocking it with his small blade. Do you have another attack with that? Okay, but this one hits. Roll damage.
And then he's also going to add an additional 1d8 to the damage and make a menacing attack. DC 16 will save.
Okay. All right. So as you guys are witnessing, Duran, you continue with an onslaught of slashes, missing a couple, but striking with most of them. It's putting Lancel at a disadvantage as he begins misstepping as he's hitting back. He can't seem to parry at all. Slash from slash, you manage to hit, and there's a smile on Lancel's face, and he goes, I haven't been this excited since the time when I fought the dreaded 600 dragon of the deep. No, or the 7 or 8. And as he's going on and on again, you're just kind of frustrated with his words, slashing Ken, hitting him side to side. Lancel at this point kind of flips backwards. Coming up with your last attack, you predict his movements, and looking back, he sees your double-bladed scimitar flaming up towards him before slashing up his sternum, cutting his face, slight drips of blood coming down, and he's just like, well, that was quite impressive. You're quite strong, Duran, and you're quick.
That entire time, Horatio is charging up a fireball, looking like a maniac about to let it go.
Do you want to fire the fireball?
No, I won't throw it.
Okay. But after that, he goes, all right, stop. I've seen enough. And everyone else in the audience are just like, oh, and you kind of hear them murmuring, and they're kind of surprised almost. And Lancel kind of touches his face, and he goes, oh, you cut me. Quite impressive indeed. And he kind of licks his fingers and goes, starts to hum a tune to himself and begin to rub it on his cheek. And as you see, the cut that you made just slowly starts to heal before his face goes back to its normal beard itself.
Oh shit, does he heal does it leave a hole in his, like a path in his beard where the blade went through, or does it just even the hair grew back?
Even the hair grew back.
Fucking metal.
And he goes, all right, I don't think I need to wait before I say, everybody, welcome your new Gold Seekers, Duran the Gale, and Horatio Kane, son of Susan and Frank Kane. And everyone's like, oh, and you hear people start to clap and applaud.
Woo! Yay, guys! You made it!
I knew you could do it.
Yeah, he did it, yay!
Duran cries out a victory cry in Elven. He totally does that thing where 2 people lock elbows, but with, chest to chest elbow lock.
He does that with Horatio?
Yeah.
Horatio's getting flung around like a fucking ragdoll. Good job, friend.
As you kind of look around, you notice the daimyo. He's kind of staring down, and him too he begins to slowly clap. He looks stoic, but he says no words, and Lancel steps forward. Well then, I think these belong to you two, unless you... And he looks up at the daimyo, and the daimyo shakes his head. Want to join your friends in the next level? I think after that performance, I'll even qualify you to go to Electrum if you want. If not, well then you can schedule your test another day.
What do you say, Duran?
These are more challenges that we have to go to get to Electrum.
Why, yes, that's what your friends are about to do next. I'm sure you can get a good witness on what it takes to get to Electrum. If you thought that was difficult, well, you ain't seen nothing yet.
So is he offering for us to go straight into the Electrum thing right now?
He's offering you can, through your allies go, you can also take the Electrum test, if you so choose.
Without having to wait another day.
Yeah, without having to wait.
How long will the test take?
Well, depending how well you do, it's sort of a obstacle course. You won't be facing against me, but the elements.
I'll take that challenge then.
Excellent. I'm sure the spectators are pleased to see what you guys can do. And he walks on over towards Horatio and goes, and kind of whispers to him, sure, your mother will be proud. Weave the arcane arts just as well as she has in her prime. Well, who's next for their Electrum test?
I mean, I'll go first if no one wants.
Go right ahead, sir. Horatio's kind of just taking all that in.
I'll step forward towards Lancel and say I would be honored to take the test.
Excellent. We're quite curious to see how well you do. Especially with a name like King. People have assumptions. You don't want to let down their expectations now, do you? And he gives you a little wink.
I'll bow and then come up with a grimace and say, let's not keep them waiting now. Hopefully I can live up to their expectations.
All right. So, he goes, since we're done with the battle trials, give me one moment to outfit the venue. Step back, please. And he kind of beckons for Duran and Horatio step back to where everybody else is. Kind of go on.
Horatio would step back.
As you kind of step back, he kind of whistles loudly, kind of pierces your ear slightly. And as he does, you kind of feel the ground shake around you. You kind of brace yourselves as you notice like the walls begin to fall and the ceiling begin to open up, revealing light from the dusk above. It's heavily snowing at this point, and it begins to fall into the hall as it slowly starts to take shape. Pillars begin to appear, and different doorways begin to open up, changing the landscape to what you see before you. Once that's completed, he goes, now, let me explain the rules of the obstacle course. You need to make it between here and there, and he points far off on the other side where there is a small platform in the back. And you all are looking up at this point because pillars have raised up and you're all at the bottom of this area. And he goes, you'll just need to step over there to the starting area and you'll be brought up. Make your way across. You can take the skies or the pathway or work your way down below. But each place has its own, trial. So the choice is yours. And the way that this will work is you'll be confronted with a bunch of obstacles, and you can use your abilities to however you see fit to deal with them. They will be coming towards you, and you'll get that turn to react to it. If you need to use a full-on spell, I'll let you know if it'll reach you before, if the trap or what have you reaches you before the spell takes over. But you can always use a reaction, and that will allow you to beat the speed of anything that's coming towards you. If you don't wish to use an ability, you can choose to dodge, and then I'll let you know what the roll is to dodge it or to withstand it. And then while making your way, there'll be several traps along the way to get towards the end, but use as much ability as in your character sheet as you can, and then some. It's very liberal. You don't have to follow the exact rules of how it is as long as it kind of fits the thing. So use your imagination at this point. And after since you don't know how many trials there is, but after they're completed and you get to the platform, you would have completed. If you fail a certain amount of these rolls, you will be deemed as a failure and will not be making it to Electrum. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes. Ouch, deemed as a failure.
Right, so harsh.
I don't mean like you'll be deemed as a failure. Just you would have failed.
You're deemed as a failure
Give
because
us
there's
your-
people watching.
Gold Seeker badge, you're done.
Right. Is it so? It's just get to the other side though. It's not get there and get back.
Correct. Just get to the other side.
Okay.
So then, King, since you volunteered first, can you please step towards the starting platform? Points towards the platform ahead of him.
I'll walk forth onto the platform and wait for it to arise or move.
As you step on the platform, you begin to rise up. At this point, when you get towards the top of the platform, you can clearly see all the spectators around you, and some of them are murmuring, and then you roll me a perception check. Okay. You notice a couple tieflings whispering like, I wonder what this short stuff can do. Yeah, he'll probably get stuck at gold. I don't know. He probably depends on his friends the most. I'm quite impressed with the last two, so yeah, I'm not expecting much. And things like that, and you hear that kind of happening from the side.
Yeah, King, come up, King.
Okay.
And King, you kind of step towards the platform, and you see kind of a light shining at the other end, and Lancel jumps up. Actually, let me roll an acrobatics check, see if he makes it. So Lancel, you see Lancel not take the platform, but kind of run up and jump between two pillars before reaching where you are. And he's like, well, do you understand the rules, King?
I think I do.
And have you made your preparations?
I will hold my hands up and I will say, Miley, guide me and grant me your blessing. I do this in your honor, and I'll cast guidance on myself.
Okay. As you kind of close your eyes and cast guidance, the warm feeling of Miley, that green nature energy swirling around you. But you do notice just a hint of calming blanket of kind of this black energy swirling around it. An energy you felt before, and it doesn't feel bad or evil. It's comforting. You recognize this from your dream that other night.
I'll acknowledge that silently, and then I'll think to myself, I forgot you're here too. King waits for Lancel to give him a signal to start.
Well then, if all preparations are ready, King, in 3, you kind of look around. Everything kind of goes quiet and silent. Kind of take a deep breath, and you're like, 2. And people start murmuring and begin to look on to you, and all watch as you all start to watch King. 1, begin! And at this point, as soon as he says the word begin, what do you do?
I start running up the pathway, and I run towards like a ramp that looks like it's going like up the building type route. And as I'm running up this ramp, I start to eventually like curve and like look back towards like the valley and underpath below. And once I get like 10 or 15 feet up this ramp, I'm going to jump and dive off of the side of the cliff, holding Chastifold in my hands, and then put it between me and start to like fly down. And I'm going to say, I fly through the night with the cloak of Nyx. And I'll sort of hold my hands out like it's sort of like a wing pattern and sort of create this cloak of darkness behind me as I pull Chastifold with me and sort of like, you know, dive down on my spear and make my way towards like underneath the archways.
Okay. So you're taking like the lower path, but you're flying the lower path.
I started to run up and then I like jumped down and to like fly between the lower path.
All right. As you kind of jump off and you all witness King dive in his aerial acrobatics, at this point you see Lancel, not you King, but everybody see Lancel kind of snap his fingers. And at that snap, a torrent of flames burst from the walls towards King. I'm going to need you to either do something if you can. You do get one action before it reaches you, as this wall of flame is pushing towards you, melting the ice and snow that had accumulated onto the ground. You can either roll a dexterity check to see if you get out the way. Dexterity save, or you can do an ability.
Since I'm like flying and these flames are coming towards me, I'm activate my sacred flame ability, and I'm going to call forth the energy, and Chastifold will start to like bloom and glow, and I'm going to like try and wreath myself in some of this radiant energy and sort of just like fly and weave through the flames and sort of like bear it and hope that my magical flames sort of dissipates the actual flames.
Okay. Well, for me then, at advantage, since you're weaving through a dexterity.
Save.
16. Okay. Let's roll, see. You begin to kind of fly onto Chastifold through the flame, seeing them coming, blanking yourself in the radiant energy that has a weird blackened tint to it. Otherwise, it's normal kind of radiant color. You go into the flames. They begin to burn you slightly, but the radiant flames around you seem to dissipate itself as well as the flames around you, causing you to kind of cause pockets within the wall of flame. And seeing those holes, you bob and weave through that, still taking some burning from it. You don't manage to get past all of it, but you do get past this first trial safely, making it pass. And then Lanza goes, interesting. Let's see how you fare at the next. And then you continue to kind of fly your way across. You now have the opportunity to go up towards the mid-level, the top level, or remain floating above in the bottom level. Your choice.
I will sort of like almost make like a 90-degree turn up to go up, and I'll fly towards the highest level and sort of get out of this valley and sort of fly the upper route. and try and like weave my way up in a stylish fashion.
Okay, in the top level. Okay. Just for picture's sake, are you kind of Harry Potter brooming it, side saddling it, or standing on it?
Because I had to fly so vertically, I was side saddle before, but now I like flip my leg over Harry Potter broom style.
All right, so adjusting your position on it, you make your way up, taking to the top level. At this point, Lancel once again snaps his fingers and it kind of echoes throughout the hallway. You feel a breeze start to come, and this breeze quickly changes into a whirlwind heading towards you. You see this vortex spinning into your direction on this level, seemingly to take you off balance and make you fall to the ground. At this point, once again, you could do another action, or you can roll for me a strength check to see if you can withstand the wind.
I will do an action instead of that. How far away from the end of the cavern am I, or from the next section? How long is this space?
Seems like you got about a quarter of the way ish.
Okay.
Wait, how far are you from? Oh, from the next up, down, or middle area? Not the
Yeah.
end. Oh, okay. It seems like after this, right behind this whirlwind is the next area that you can make a decision.
Okay. I'm going to look and picture the next section that I can actually see, and seeing this like whirlwind in front of me, and knowing where my strengths lie, and it's not in that, I'm going to start looking at like a platform beyond this space. And as I look down beneath this whirlwind, I start channeling and casting, and a fairy ring of mushrooms starts forming, and I sort of like literally plummet and drop and cast Dimension Door and go from through this portal into the ground and appear at the platform behind it.
Okay. And you can easily see this next section. So you kind of jump between your door, and as the whirlwind kind of wafts over you, the instant you jump in there, you appear but behind the whirlwind as it continues towards the crowd. And they're like, and it dissipates in front of them. And they're like, the wind has stopped and you have made it to the next section. And Lancel is kind of like, impressive indeed. Let's see how he faces the next challenges. So now you have a choice between top, middle, or bottom.
I'll be in the middle section.
Are you hopping back on Chastifold or walking?
I'm currently like running if there's like a section. I'm holding it, but I'm running.
Okay. All right. So you're running. It's as you're on foot, you notice that the middle section is different. It's a lot more obstacles that are in your way. Just roll me a dexterity saving throw. I'm sorry, check. Dexterity check. 25. So you easily flip over it. You in a sense that you're not used to being so acrobatic, but you with the rush of adrenaline, you hop over the walls that are in your way, slide underneath pillars, and jump over and kind of parkour your way through this. All of you notice this and notice how elegant and acrobatic King is. Not what you've seen before, but he makes it clear past these obstacles here on this level with no issue. You now make it to the next section. You can once again choose between top, middle, or bottom, or you could continue going in the middle, or fly up, or land to the ground.
I'm just going to continue, but depending on how things change, I'm always ready to hop on Chasif. But I'm going to continue on foot running with the potential to jump if the situation comes.
Okay. As you're continuing to run on this level, Lancel kind of smiles and does another snap. At this point, too fast for you to make an action. A torrent of blades come flying towards you. What do? You can either try to dodge it, or you have anything like shield or something like that. You can use that ability, but it'll be reaction only.
No, the only reaction I have is counterspell, so I will try and endure it.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can do, or dodge if I can.
Yes, dodge. So go ahead and roll me. All right, I'll put it this way. You can try to withstand it with a Constitution check, or you can try to dodge it.
I will actually, if I have my choice, seeing these blades come, I'll just sort of stand up and stand strong and take like a pose, and then I'll try and withstand it and like strike like a defiant pose, and I'll roll a Constitution save.
23. As you stand there, as the torrent of blades come toward you, you kind of brace yourself with it. You're also using Chastifold to kind of block some of the blades and manage to block most of it. And while some of them pierce your skin, they don't touch any vital areas, and you're only hitting the mage armor or like your arm and things that are easily you can pull out.
After standing there and taking the with my back to him, I'll with my back down, I'll start like stomping Chasufold onto the ground like the sphere, like tapping it into the ground. And with that, it's going to slowly create this like deep pink pollen is going to radiate around me, and it's going to get larger and larger. And then when I turn around defiantly, and this pollen is going to start to coat my skin where the blood once was and where the damage was, and the blades hit my skin, all of it starts to heal and recuperate, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at a level 4.
Okay. All the scratches and markings that are on you have been completely healed as you are looking once again at full strength. You see that the light showing you the finishing line is close up ahead.
And making my way towards the light.
All right. So making your way there, there's more obstacles in your way. Roll for me another dexterity check to see if you can make it over these obstacles.
If I see these obstacles coming, would I have guidance to myself? It's an action.
Yes, I'll say you can guidance yourself after you've healed yourself and all that. It'll take a little extra time, and Lance will take notes of that, but...
Okay. And then I'll run forth, and I'll try and do that. And do I want to use it? I'll think, Makar, you've helped us so far, and we have so much more to go. Help me, and I'll use my Araba bonus.
Okay, so you begin to move over. You start to hop over some of them, but this time your foot gets caught on one of the obstacles. At this point, Lancelot snaps his fingers, and then you feel another kind of shaking of the ground. Feeling the energy of the Arabu, you kind of catch yourself flipping in the air before landing safely on the other side. Rushing your way towards the end, you step onto the platform with the light, and the light changes from white to a gold, and you hear "Burp-burn." Immediately, everyone in the crowd begins erupting in applause. You have completed the trial, and even Lancel looks onto you and says, "Well," and at this point, because he's so far away from you, his voice is now booming like it's a megaphone around, possibly thaumaturgy, you're not sure, but he kind of shouts out, well, impressive indeed, was it not? I hope you naysayers took a look on and see how a real Electrum Seeker completes this task. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you the new Electrum Seeker, King. And everyone begins clapping.
Woo! I'll like look up.
Applause.
I'll give I'll slowly look up towards the back of the group, and I'll give like a thumbs up. And then I'll start jumping up and down. Yay! I made it!
Duran raucously applauses.
As he applauds as well.
Cal applauds heartily.
Minako kind of cheers, but also kind of whispers something to Cal.
I'll get on Chasufold and sort of like like towards the top of the course, towards the crowds and the people in the balcony. And then I'll like make my way back and land near the group and say, that was much harder than I thought. But I hope you enjoyed it, towards Lancel.
He goes, it was quite impressive. Please step back here. Once completed, you'll be presented with your new Seeker badge. But up next, and he looks over to the group.
I'll go next. I step forward.
He said, Cal, good to see you finally making your way up to Electrum. I'm quite excited to see what you can do. All right then, let me reset the obstacle course. So give me one moment. He, as you kind of step towards the platform and begin to raise up, he starts to do something with his hand and a weird somatic motion before it starts to shake again. Because just give me a few minutes and we'll begin shortly. As this kind of echoes throughout the chamber. We will take a break. So let's put in the bookmark and return after this. Hey, D-Pad, can you tell me a little bit more about Podigy and how it can help?
Certainly. Podigy is an elite podcast service that not only will edit your audio to the highest of standards, but can even assist with the consultation, art, show notes, and more. All of their warriors are trained in the same top-grade techniques for the most consistent quality without parceling out into tiers of service.
Whoa, that's amazing! So I can stick to what I love to do, and they can spread all the technical stuff.
That's right. Also, don't forget to mention the secret code phrase, A Tale of D20s, to receive a 20% off discount from the first month of editing. And also, if you sign up for 3 months, you get a $500 credit.
Huh? What's that? D-pad?
Oh no! Dr. Cacophony has set his bot to destroy our sound quality.
What do I do?
Call upon Podigy by entering it into my browser.
Right. Let's do this. Podigy.co. Got it. Podigy, do your stuff. Hey there, Dungeon Delvers. Thank you for listening. I wanted to take this time to thank our vendors, composers, and collaborators who worked so hard in bringing A Tale of D20s to life. Starting with Frank Freire, who drew the portraits for the player characters, Manuel Lapuca, who created our orchestral soundtrack, Kyle Misko, who created our main theme, night theme, and mystical theme, Christian Yuki, who created our heavy metal theme songs, Jan Rosa, for letting us use their soundtrack Continuum, and Dave Chappell for letting us use his End of Silence, A World of Color soundtrack. You can find more information on all of these artists at ataleofd20s.com. So, click on to part 2 and we can continue our epic tale.